Hi, this is Kathy Horn, the fashion critic of The Cut, talking about Dior and the Paris collections. A week ago, in my review of the London shows, I wrote that Burberry, held on a nighttime runway with much black leather, made me think of the main character in David Soloi's novel Flesh. Isfan starts out as a seedy nightclub bouncer and later enters the world of the super-rich as a London property developer. Though Isfan isn't a nasty guy, there's an emptiness about him, and he often has little more to say than okay. Then in Milan we saw the hard, thin bodies of Demna's Gucci, which got people worked up over a perceived emptiness in both the vision and ultralight materials. On Tuesday, as the Paris Fall ready-to-wear collections got underway, Jonathan Anderson opened Dior with a knitted version of the house's famous bar jacket, cuddled over a frilly, embroidered, multi-layered miniskirt, a style we haven't seen since Christian Lacroix's Pouf in the late 80s. About 1,000 people were seated in a glass-enclosed promenade built around one of the reflecting pools in the Tuileries, no doubt at a cost of millions. With fake lily pads floating on the water, it made for a pretty, if staggering, picture of wealth in a time of inequality. That evening, Anthony Vaccarello reprised the Saint Laurent tuxedo in a wood-paneled room straight out of a power broker's movie office, The Fountainhead or Succession. Vaccarello likes a concise message, and he added lavish shearling and lace coated in silicone to give the material body. "It's a house where you always have an image in your head," Vaccarello said. That image, of course, is Helmut Newton's 1975 photograph of two women, one as naked as a mannequin, the other looking androgynous in a tux in a dark Paris street. However, when you add up these images since Burberry, all this ridiculous richness, you could get a very different figure lurking in the shadows. Deep Throat, the Watergate informant. Follow the money, he said. Woodward and Bernstein had good reason to follow their source, and so should we. The new collections of Dior and Gucci are especially telling. Saint Laurent less so, because Vaccarello keeps Saint Laurent's motor running at a cool purr. In the late 90s, a group of mad geniuses disrupted fashion's status quo. Marc Jacobs at Louis Vuitton, John Galliano at Dior, Alexander McQueen at Givenchy, and even more so for his own brand. And Tom Ford did his thing at Gucci, giving us the idea of the modern creative director. But over the past decade or so, the corporate owners of those luxury brands started doing dumber and dumber things. They began offering a mono look, call it quiet luxury if you want, but they literally industrialized boredom. Today, the stuff isn't selling, in part because the center of the market, the middle part, the huge group once reflected in department stores, is largely gone. It's bitter and complaining, or has simply moved on. Meanwhile, the people at the top, the super rich, who spend $100,000 for an outfit in ready-to-wear, that's ready-to-wear, not couture, aren't questioning anything. And the people who start out at the bottom, the Isfans of the world, also don't have those hang-ups, not historically. They just want. That shift is how I read Anderson's Dior.